Hello, welcome to this episode of Unloaded with Shanks, Fez, and Barkley. You need to abbreviate your name somehow. Barkley sounds crap, doesn't it?
I said I need a nickname. I
Yeah.
don't know what's wrong with yours. Is just Shanks. This is Fez. I was Barks, but that's about as good as
Toenails? You got a few toenails?
Oh yeah, toenails. That one.
Doggers. Doggers.
Nah. Prince. That's what
No.
Prince.
Thrush? You've got a few. You've got a few anyway.
Take your pick, lads.
Yeah, we'll go with Barks. Barks sounds a little bit better. How are you, lads? You okay?
I'm good. I'm great. I'm great. Back from a week of holiday, Shanks. Thanks for asking. I know you're a big fan. I had a lovely time. Thank you.
Where are you currently?
I'm in London, back to work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lifestyle of rich and famous, eh, Fez? If I come back,
man.
I always said I wanted to come back as Sir Gareth Edwards, but if I die, I want to come back as John Barkley.
I totally agree. Totally agree.
You know, I asked Steve,
money tree out the back.
I'll ask you the same question. I'll ask you the same question, Shanks. Asked Stevie, and then I'll tell you what Stevie's answer was. I said, "How many hours of work do you do a week, not including rugby?"
You include looking after your kids' work, though, so
Nope.
It doesn't work.
Just answer the question.
I don't have to work it out. I'm seasonal.
Well, there we
Like
go.
a
I'm
club
9 to 5, mate, over here. Stevie did 3 hours one week.
Oh, wise up. Barkley,
Hold on.
9 to 5.
You said that.
No, I didn't say 9 to 5.
Oh, no, Johnny got a full-time job.
3 hours. Yeah, full-time
like
job.
90% of the population. You work.
Exactly. How'd you do that?
Work less, get paid. Work less, get paid more. That's what you
Work
do.
smarter. Work
Minimum
smarter,
effort,
not
that's the
harder.
point. That was the Scarlets.
Anyway, look.
You could do this all day.
We could do this all day. We could do it all day. But let's not, because we have managed to bag ourselves a great guest. We've got James Hume, outside centre for Ulster, which means he must be an absolute legend, a baller. How are you?
Yeah, mate, not bad. Not bad. I've been better, but no, I can't complain. No one will listen anyway.
Oh, sorry, there's a bit of a crap opening question. How are you? I mean, you got an ACL, haven't you, at the moment?
Yeah, full ACL rupture, meniscus tear, and LCL repair as well. So full work.
What's LCL?
Lateral. Yeah, lateral.
Oh.
Is it jackling? You do it jackling, James?
You
do it jackling?
No, I literally was stepping into contact. My knee just completely buckled. It was so innocuous, and it was kind of terrifying because I've been doing that step probably the whole career, and it just completely gave out. So have to get my mind right before I get back and a bit of confidence in stepping again.
So how long does it take nowadays from getting injured to getting it scanned, getting it operated on? Is it a quick process?
This was completely different to anything I've done. So that was my 6th surgery. I'm 25, so I've had a fair share. But this is different to anything I've ever had. So usually, Friday night game, get injured, get scanned on the Monday, and then usually you're, under the knife Tuesday, maybe. Maybe I've had it Monday night before in London, quick turnaround. But ACL was scan on Monday, and then 3.5 weeks waiting for the swelling to go down to get your knee nice and dry, so they can go in and do a good job. So very, very tedious doing 3.5 weeks of rehab for surgery. And then obviously I'm 3 weeks on Monday there post surgery now, so pretty much had 6.5 weeks of not moving a lot, which isn't too fun.
What's the recovery?
James, just on.
So I was going to ask. I remember when I played used to be 9 months and 6 months.
Yeah, it varies. But I think now the research is pretty adamant that it's around 9. They think there's a risk of redoing it if it's below that. But obviously, I think Sia Khaleesi did it in 5.5 or 6 or something recently enough.
So just get Peter Steph the toy to get his dad to give him his hamstring to put it back in and come back in 3 months or something. I've been looking at your social medias, James, and just you've been pretty good at sort of almost blogging how you're gonna, your recovery and how hard it can be. And I think that's brilliant for, because people don't understand it. Us three obviously do, being injured over the years, but are you going to continue on with that and use that as sort of motivation to keep working hard as well?
Yeah, do you know what? It was out of complete boredom. I honestly, there was times I didn't move from the sofa all day, and I was like, do you know what? I may as well just do something like this. But now that I'm able to walk about a bit more and drive and stuff, I can I don't know, might slow down a bit on the posting, but we'll see. It depends how bored I get, pretty much. But no, I do appreciate that as well. Thank you. It's like, people do like to see behind the scenes, and probably people don't ever get a grasp of how hard it is. And I don't even think I've documented how hard it is mentally so far. So, there's even more than what I'm putting out there as well.
Just on that, just on the mental side of it, James, like, how important is it that you go into training every day and that you're speaking to the lads and you're constantly being involved instead of just distancing yourself? I know the first couple of weeks is tricky because you are on the sofa, you're just dicing, you're just through the mundane things, but it is important to get back into that team environment to keep picking yourself up. And like, you probably don't see it as much, but you're supporting the lads as much as they're supporting you. So it is vital to keep in that squad environment, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like, the first week was, tough trying to get over the pain. Like, I did not expect it to be that sore. Like, I've had broken ankle, I've had torn hamstring off the bone and everything. That was the sorest week I've ever experienced. Like, it was honestly unbearable. Couldn't even explain it. But then when you see the surgery and what they're doing, they're absolutely tearing you apart when you're unconscious, like, and ripping your knee apart. So, but
Looking
yeah,
at
like,
things
that
they
first week
shouldn't.
was. Oh, sorry.
Looking at things they shouldn't.
So small.
But like, yeah, that after I got
Photo
in,
of that.
after I got in, our first week was, yeah, after I got in after that, lads are delighted to see you again, and then I've been in I'm just trying to go in every day, to be honest, because sitting around the house just isn't me at all. So I like to split it up somehow, and even just going and getting coffees different places just to kill time, so I don't have to sit in the same spot and all. But yeah, the lads have been nothing but good to me, and I appreciate their support.
James, just on the feels like a new Ulster. We were at the Leinster game a few weeks ago. Obviously, new coach. You'll have a different angle on that. You're obviously missing out on obviously the training and obviously the matches at the moment. Can you give us a bit of insight into just the change in, I guess, the environment and the sort of background culture that's going on at the moment?
Yeah. So Richie came in. First game of South Africa was his first proper game. So I think I maybe had like 7 weeks, maybe 6 weeks or 7 weeks training under him. He's obviously so intricate with the detail, which we needed, because I feel like we went through the motions in training and we didn't train to a standard that was gonna make you better in any way, shape, or form. And then when we get to our performances and they're subpar, then you're like, why is it subpar? And then you got to revert back to your training. I remember the first session in Cape Town after the loss against Sharks, he was just like, fucking, we're speeding this up. This is bullshit. Like, there was one line out. I think it was 2.5 minutes. We went from a stop and play to the next line out. So that first session was death. He was just throwing a ball and being like, line out 5, 4, 3, 2. And you're like, oh my God, this is going to be it. But we've started, going up that way. And it's unfortunate I haven't been a part of the past few weeks where they've really started to, it's really started to click for them. And you can see everyone is confident in their role. So I'm really hoping that goes through a good end of the season here. And then, we'll pick up speed again in pre-season in the next.
James, you strike me as someone, we watch Ulster, obviously not as much as maybe Stevie, but you always strike me as quite a niggly player, quite enjoy the that side of the game, confrontation side of the game. Just talk me through the
Celebrating.
Celebrating. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I love it. It's good to see that. Just talk us through, obviously, the next couple of weeks, the plans, also in the playoffs, any involvement you've had in and around that side of the game, trying to get give the boys, I guess, intel, detail, and I guess how much you're going to miss these playoffs games.
Yeah, no, I think with rugby, like, the celebration side just is so hated on, because I feel like it's real. It's like an older culture within rugby. So like, someone celebrates and they're like, oh, I hate that guy. He looks
Ben
like
Earl.
and I'm like, yeah, I'm just like, got to get the boys going. Like, but no, I haven't really been in meetings too much, because like, sitting on my leg bent for too long and stuff gets real sore. So I went in this week to the meetings and just the team announcement and stuff. Like, there's not much I can do as someone who's injured when you have that level of experience in the team. Like, Will is like, I genuinely, if I was fit now, if I came back now, I don't think I'd get into the team. Will has been unbelievable, like so solid in that 13 shirt. He's defending like a maniac. He's he's out the back of those pods playing like a 10. So hats off to him for going into that and just fitting in seamlessly. But when you have lads like Billy, him, Stu, Henry's been around the squad a bit, giving advice, and then you have young lads that are piping up as well. So I'm not needed. So I've just sat back and let that flow. They're obviously going the right direction. So
look at this game this weekend, Irish Derby. It's going to be huge. You obviously beat Leinster recently at the Kingspan. What do you think the team has to do away in Dublin?
Well, I think Leinster will be out for blood, obviously, after the Champions Cup. They'll be going all in. So I think away from home at the Viva, we'll have good travelling support as always, but it's a niggly place to go with the atmosphere. I think we've just got to be brutal, I think, in every aspect of the game. And because usually, I've played against Leinster before, when you go down there and you get really, really shocked about how hard they're carrying, how hard they're hitting your defence. I think if we match that and just let our game take us there, we could get a win easily.
James, I just want to mention somebody that's come into everybody's eyes, a bit like you, only a few years ago, and he's in the back row, Cormac Izachukwu. He played a number of times for Ulster, more so in the second row. I've seen him a couple of times playing for Ballynahinch, playing club rugby, and everybody's talking about this guy as being a serious athlete. And only over the last 5 or 6 weeks, we've really seen the true Cormac Izachukwu. Just a few words from a teammate to sort of back up his performances and how good he's been over the last couple of weeks.
Serious athlete doesn't even cut it. Like, that man is a freak athlete. Like,
the freak in the gym, yeah.
Freak in the gym, lifts seriously heavy lowers, heavy uppers, and he's doing 4 or 5 watt bikes a week. Every off day, he's in the gym about an hour and a half, 2 hours, just like banging out some core. Like,
I bet he's had no injuries, I bet, no surgeries yet.
Bet John's got a free watt bike, hasn't he, John? Bet Barks has got a free watt bike, 100%.
I hate watt bikes.
He had an ACL, I think, in 2020.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I think since then, though, he's just built this like bulletproof body around it. He's like so fit, so fast, so strong. So I was really, really excited when I saw him get put into that 6 shirt. And as you said, he's delivered. He's been absolutely unbelievable. So, he's the type of player that will move forward in that position and gain confidence, but he could be the difference for us in big games in the future,
So
Absolutely.
we think Ulster are going to do it this weekend, do we?
Yep.
And Aviva. Yeah, I think Leinster might be there for the taking up. I think they're looking a little bit shaky at the moment. It depends what team they pick, mind, as well, and whether they go for sort of the European team or whether they go for the URC team. But we'll leave you go, James. We really hope you recover well. We're big fans of you, and we want to see you back on that pitch as soon as possible. Hope the rehab goes well.
Awesome. Nice one, lads. Appreciate that. Thanks for having me.
Cheers, James.
Thank you. Juma. Is it Juma, do you think?
Juma, yeah. I want to call him Juma. That's good.
Yeah. I think he's a bit like Barkley. He's got half a dozen nicknames, I think.
What about J Barks?
J Barks. Hey, you guys.
J Delgers.
JB. You just need to reinvent yourself as a JB.
That's what I'm always JB.
You are a JB, but not everyone knows you as a JB, do they?
Go JB.
What's your middle name, John?
Hugo.
Charlie.
Arthur.
Charlie. JCB.
No, it's not Arthur. It's Adam. Adam. Yeah, not exciting. Pretty mundane.
It's probably the third at the end as well.
Put a lot of effort into that, didn't they?
Jab. There we go.
Jabber.
Oh, done. Anyway, Shanks, you mentioned there just about this weekend, and I know we'll touch on it probably a little bit more, but I was wanting to just throw it in there about, the Ulster have been brilliant, but an area of weakness is their scrum. Like, again, last weekend against Munster, like, that was what won Munster the game, was a few scrum penalties. So I'm confident that they can match them at the minute with a skill set if it's a good day weather-wise. I'm really excited to see it, but just that set piece, especially if they pick their Tag Furlong, Porter, Sheehan. So we'll see what
but you know what I mean about Leinster? Like,
Oh man, I totally agree.
I'm not
I
100%
totally agree. I'm
convinced.
not convinced. No, me neither.
No,
Me
So,
neither. How we've changed
see.
our tune, eh?
Yeah.
They'll probably come out with a storm. We'll start then with the weekend's games. Leinster, we just been giving them a bit of stick really, and they beat Connacht 33-7. So
Rubbish.
it sort of feels a little bit weird. But Stevie, talk us through.
Yeah.
I don't know how good Leinster were or how poor Connacht were in a way.
Connacht were really, really poor. It took them 40 minutes to get going. Their scrum got decimated. Like Finlay Bealham, he's second choice tight head prop for Ireland, and he got absolutely pumped by what many people think is a second string Leinster side. Jack Conan, I don't know what Jack Cardy was doing there. He ran into no man's land.
Idea.
That was a Dan Park special right there.
Yeah, he went for the intercept.
Themselves in so much trouble as well for the O'Brien try, don't they? Like defensively,
Yeah.
centres.
Yeah, Prendergast was half decent, and he's very casual. Like he's like it almost feels like he's too casual on the ball. He just sort of floats around. He's always like running around at 50-60%, where he never really hammers onto the ball. But I just think that's the player he is, and he had a really good 50-60 minutes. Connacht made a raft of changes. As I said, boys got the hook at half time or just slightly after that. Buckley come on at loose head was much better for Connacht. I think it was Oranger was it come on as well. So like they were a lot better. Jack Cardy was poor a little bit as well. And didn't have his best day. Couldn't control the game. And Leinster took them a while to get their bonus point try, mind you.
You know, when you're talking about Prendergast there, it just looks like he's sort of ambling a little bit. Unless you're like like a Costello or a Marcus Smith, who are quite short, compact, and accelerate master onto it. I'd say some of the best fly halves we've seen, like a Sexton or a Farrell.
No. Sexton.
I don't know. When you watch them phase play, they're not really running at full pelt. They're facilitating. When there's a hole there, they're gone. But they're just running at 75%. You know, just tipping it on. So,
well, what I mean about Prendergast is that I didn't feel like he was on the line all the time. So when he was being pedestrian, he was always just in behind the pods, just taking a pass and giving it, and like maybe a wee outside arc and giving it. But he had loads of space and time on the ball. Like where Sexton always took the ball to the line, and when he got to the line, it looked like he could inject pace himself or put somebody else in. So that's what I sort of mean about being more pedestrian, and like he had a good game. Like, so I'm just nitpicking, to be honest.
Do you think he is their 10 next year? Because I think we saw Byrne a couple. You don't think it's going to be Byrne still?
I think he's going to go to Connacht, John.
Is that
Frawley?
right?
Or do you not think he? I saw Frawley play last year as 10, and I was so impressed. But then
it's hard. It's hard, isn't it? But I just think we watched him a couple of times last few weeks in that game against Ulster, and then in the Champions Cup final. I'm just not convinced he gets the team moving in the same way. But it's an unfair comparison, like you say. It's like when you're comparing him to Sexton, but it feels like with the players they've got, maybe Geordie Barrett might play there a bit next year, and maybe not in knockout games, but who knows?
Yeah, who knows? But it's a tricky one, because you speak to any Leinster fans and they're like, Harry Byrne and Ross Byrne aren't going to take us to the next level. And like they've been given so many opportunities over the last couple of years. And like there was a lot of hype around Harry Byrne, and yes, he's picked up injuries along the way, but he hasn't really delivered. Like where Frawley, one big moment, in the Champions Cup final, and he delivered. Like delivered a couple of really good moments. So yeah, but then again, the following week he's played out of position. So I don't know.
Yeah, well, we could talk about this for a while again, like hammering John.
Yeah.
But anyway, John,
on Connacht, Shanks. On Connacht, that was Barclay's tip as the sort of dark horses, and I sort of agreed with him at the start of the season. They were very, very good, but they have fallen away badly. I think there might be
started well, mate.
Yeah.
They did.
I'm telling you, I think there might be a couple of changes there over the summer, because something's just not right.
They've got a good squad. They've got a good squad now. They've got good support, but it's not happening.
Prendergast to Connacht, maybe.
Playing
every week.
So. Yeah.
Who knows? Heard it here first. John, I know we gave you a bit of stick at the start, but we owe you an apology. Well, I owe you an apology for Benetton Edinburgh. Edinburgh not coming away with any points, which allowed the Ospreys to sneak in there. Bit shocked. I think might have been Edinburgh's worst performance of the season.
I think you can take away one word from that sentence. It was comfortably their worst. This is going to sound brutal. I wasn't that surprised by it. I just think you look at like the emotion. They're a team that when they're emotional, like any team, you get emotional. And it was, I think we did the game against Munster the couple weeks before that, and they lost, but they played. You could see the physicality, emotion. Nothing was there at the weekend. Ali Price tried his best, but yeah, they were lethargic. They were error-strewn. They're just all over the shop. And I don't know. Like you're saying, there's questions to be asked at Connacht. It's similar at Edinburgh, I think, with the squad they've got, the amount they've spent. They've got a good squad on paper, if you look at it. And they finished 9th or 10th in the end. Yeah, it's not going to be acceptable. And obviously, they missed out on Champions Cup rugby next year, so a lot of problems to fix at Edinburgh.
Yeah.
I don't really know where to start, but I think the main thing is their attack. They can't create tries. I think there was a stat on, if you look at the table, they had like only 2 wins less going into last round, but they've only had 1 bonus point win. They can't put teams away. They can't dominate teams, so they're quite workmanlike. They got a good pack of forwards, but they can't create enough tries from nothing.
Well, yeah. I think we all thought Benetton would win because it is such a tough place, and obviously only in the URC they've only lost to Glasgow there. But I thought maybe they might come away with something because I think they only needed a point really to get them through to top 8. But you're right, they just buckled, they folded. Issacore is
what an athlete.
He's a pretty decent player, isn't he, in the back row? You know, the 2 centres work really well together. There's a lot of combinations there from Benetton, which is obviously from the national team, which benefits them. They do have to go to the Bulls next week, which is going to be so tough. But I thank you, John.
They got pumped there as well, did they? No, they picked up a.
No, they came back. They scored 4 tries.
They scored 4 tries. That's right. Yeah, they'll have a pretty strong squad. I don't think they picked up any significant injuries there against Edinburgh. But yeah, in my opinion, I think Edinburgh's soft. I think they are. Like, they concede 30 odd points at home. The Munster concede 31 points. The Benetton, like, yes, their attack is faltering, but like some of the tries are just too soft. Like Duhan van der Merwe, biggest, strongest guy on the pitch, like, and he's just getting fended off and making wrong decisions at times. And like anytime he touches the ball, he runs through people and creates opportunities. But he looks a bit of a liability in defence, and he did again in the previous couple of games he's played. So yeah, just maybe it's a mentality thing. We've seen it with Stockdale, didn't we? For a couple of seasons, he sort of lost a bit of confidence in himself, but it seems to have bounced back really well. So maybe Duhan and a couple of the other guys will do the same.
Do you know what I think? I think it's. I know it feels like there's quite a lot to fix. I think they get Darcy Graham back. I think he makes a huge difference, and Buffelli makes a big difference. But I think if you could put, and this is stupid, hypothetical, if they had someone like a Bundyaki, I think their attack changes.
I was going to say they need a big centre, like a world class, which is hard to get. Yeah,
which is hard to get. Look at Glasgow with Sione, or look what Leinster can switch anyone in and out. The top teams at 12 have got mega player power, distribution. I just don't think Edinburgh have that.
No. So disappointing end, because at one stage they were ticking along quite nicely without really. They had quite a lot of wins on the board without showing too much, really. So they're out. But again, thank you. Stormers, Lions. This is another fixture. The Ospreys needed to go their way. Lions got a bonus point from it, but Lions have really been a team for me in the second part of the season, which have transformed themselves. Really.
Yeah. I agree.
We knew the Stormers were going to be good. We knew that when they're on, they're pretty decent. They got a pretty decent pack. They started well. There was a red card in the game. It was a pretty savage tackle from Angelo Davids. So he gets red carded. Marius Lowe then pushes him. He gets yellow card as well. But they do come strong in the end, the Stormers. And Lebock, I think, second part of the season, again, has been pretty good in the way he's controlled his team. So he also kicks a goal right at the end, a really important goal, which, even though they're leading by 3, takes it to 29-24, which sort of gets them out of reach. But I thought maybe at the start of this season, my opinions change of the Stormers quite regularly. At one stage, I look and think, yeah, you can win this league easy. And then other times I think, oh, you're a bit too up and down. But when they're on, they're one of the best teams in this league. There's no doubt about that. Roos scores another amazing tries at 6. Played Diamani at 8. So they've got options everywhere. But for me, it's their back 3, which I think are amazing.
Yeah, I totally agree. Stormers, I think, can give anybody a game, and can't wait to get over to Glasgow on Saturday.
That's going to be massive.
It's going to be a massive game. Fast pitch. I think the weather again's due to be okay. Nothing crazy. So, and I think, was it Dobbo said on here, like, he actually doesn't mind having to go away from home in a quarterfinal just to see what his boys are made of, just to, see them how much they have to dig in, and it could be a good thing for them to go away from home. So yeah, it's going to be
if they win, they're going to be probably you'd think in Munster then the following week. So a little mini tour, which not too bad for them.
Together.
Yeah, travel doesn't affect them too much, obviously, apart from getting to Glasgow. Now the Cardiff Ospreys, the Welsh derby. Everything fell into place.
Off you go, Shanks. Off you go. Go on, Shanks.
All that needed to happen.
The best derby I've ever seen in my life.
All of the results was Ospreys needed to score 4 tries, get a bonus point win, and they're through. And Cardiff made it hard work for them. But the difference really, I think, was the Ospreys pack, as we've said, as we've seen most of the season, really. Nicky Smith scored a couple of tries. James Ratty was good. Justin Tipprick was good. Morgan Morris, probably a little bit quiet. Didn't probably see too much of him, but the front row and the set piece was decent from the Ospreys. Keelan Giles had a very good game. He's been selected in the Welsh squad. Dan Edwards was pretty good at 10 as well. But Cardiff didn't go away at all, and the Ospreys took the lead. The 12. No, but they took the lead in the second half. But it was 12-all just after half time, and that's when they sort of turned the screw. There was a yellow card at Cardiff. Ospreys go over. But I tell you one player, boys, that really stood out, and he's been good all season, was Ben Thomas at number 12 for Cardiff. Like, nearly had a faultless game. There's only one instance where he knocked the ball on and caused a 5-minute scrum. But apart from that, he was really good, a really good option, I think, for Wales moving forward, and Cardiff, because he can play 10, he can play 12. But it's just, we need a lot of positive news in Welsh rugby because not much is going on. And it is brilliant that they've qualified in the playoffs. And it's a lot easier, I think, going to Munster than it would be to go to Pretoria for the Bulls.
Yeah.
Fair play to the Ospreys.
They did well. They did well. And the toughest thing was actually getting that bonus point victory to make them qualify. Munster, Ulster next, Stevie. 29-24. Really close game this, eh?
Yeah, quality game. Ulster were absolutely fantastic. Like, get off the ropey enough start. RG Snyman should have been red carded. I'm not sure if you've seen the tackle. It was over sort of the dead ball area. I'm not sure it was. I personally think it was a yellow card, even though he's 6'10" or whatever. He still should have got down lower. He probably didn't even have to tackle him, to be honest, because he would have just been grounded in the in goal. But Ulster fought back, and they were brilliant. Rob Herring got over for a try. Cormac Ezechukwu was unbelievable the whole game, making line breaks, smashing people. Anytime he got the ball, he seemed to make a few yards. But, with a 17-7 lead at halftime, Munster had to come out fighting. And their motto is that they stand up and fight, and that's exactly what they did. Again, they made a few changes. Peter O'Mahony, RG Snyman got the hook pretty early on in this game. Both of them didn't play well at all. Looked like they were, again, very casual. not much on the line. Will it be a different story next week when it's a knockout game? We'll wait and see. But yeah, the guys who come off the bench for them made the difference. Their scrum made the difference. They got a couple of big penalties there, and ultimately that's what probably cost Ulster the game. Craig Casey was good at 9 as well. Jack Crowley probably didn't have his best game, but when it mattered, he delivered. Sean O'Brien in the centre was brilliant. No Nankerville or Frisch. Tag Byrne as well. So no, all in all, they'll be delighted to get that victory. And I think Ben can correct me. Is that 9 or 10 wins on the bounce with 8 or 9 bonus point victories? So they're
one bonus point in 10 games.
What about
one
Simon
bonus point in
Zebo?
10 games?
What about Simon Zebo? He's been injured for a bit.
Yeah.
But come in, he's looked sharp.
Yeah,
He's
looked sharp. Yeah, looked really sharp. He missed the Edinburgh game. I think he played obviously 3 or 4 games on the bounce previous to that. And everybody thought he was actually going to sign on for another year or maybe look for another club, just because he had a pretty dire first 6 months of this season, like just with injuries. And then all of a sudden he comes boom onto the scene, again, the good weather and a man of his pace and power in the tackle. He loves it and he's enjoying his rugby. But no, he's retiring at the end of the season. So how good would it be for him to sign off his Munster career, winning the URC back to back, and playing a big part in that? So yeah, he is lethal and he is still very quick. I know everybody slags and has an old dig like that he's put on a few kgs from maybe his best ever days in an Irish jersey, but that guy can still shift. Like, he can still shift. He makes really good reads in defence. So, and of course he's a brilliant kicking game as well. So yeah, he's an integral part of Munster's success over the last 7 or 8 games.
44 out of 45 possible points in the last 9 games, which is a little bit different to last year, because last year they had to do it the hard way. This year it's slightly different because they're seeded 1. So can they do it? Can they do back-to-back differently, basically?
Yeah, but just on that game, Shanks, Munster did very well in the last 15, 20 minutes to take the game away from Ulster. But I was really, really impressed with Ulster. The injuries, Stuart McCluskey dropped out pre-match. Ethan McElroy dropped out pre-match. As soon as the game kicked off, 10 or 15 minutes in, they lost both second rows. Harry Sheridan and Matty Ray had to go into the second row, and they're both back rows, really. So 5 back rowers on the pitch, but almost that sort of suits their style of rugby that they're now trying to play, keeping plenty of width on it. So a lot of young guys in that team that backs against the wall, and they really stood up well, which is only a huge positive to take forward into this weekend.
Oka Gray Venstein says he's got a feeling that Ulster is beating Leinster this weekend. Pretty bad grammar.
I'll tell you what, I was interested in what James Hume said about speed of training and stuff. The intensity gone up. I got coached by Dan, and that just surprised me. He said that, Dan McFarlane, that is, because that was the way he trained and coached. Like, it was chaos, it was high tempo. Kind of surprised to hear that everything had become lethargic and stale. But you can see by the way they're playing, like we said in that Leinster game, it's like everything's faster, everything's quicker. There's more ambition. There's more, I guess, enthusiasm on the ball. I think they're great to watch now, because I think there was a time watching them, you're like, this is, even if they win, it wasn't going to be entertaining.
Yeah. It's funny. I remember earlier on in the season, JB, that Dan McFarlane came out in a post-match interview and said that the training, why are you losing so many games? Oh, our training isn't good enough. So like he was blaming the lads, like, and everybody was like, oh, you don't want to be going down that way. But obviously, it's been something all season. If Dan's identified it early on in the season as not being good enough, the standard, the tempo, the quality, and then all of a sudden Richie goes in and identifies exactly the same thing, but maybe because he's a new face and he's a new voice, that people and the players are responding to him. And sometimes, lads, a different coach or a new voice comes in, like it can make a big difference instead of the mundane voice that you've been listening to for maybe the last 5 seasons.
Got a comfort zone, don't you? We'll move on now to Sharks versus the Bulls. No surprise, really. Even though the Sharks have hit form, they found Europe. They obviously won the Challenge Cup. They've hit a bit of form. They score an early intercept with Masuku, just ends up picking the ball up, dotting it over the line. Isn't it? We'd call it a fumble. Probably call it a fumble. I don't think we've got any clips for those that listen live for this. But I'll tell you one person who ends up scoring for the Bulls to put them back level was David Creel. Really impressed with him at centre.
Is he in your team of the year? I bet he is.
I can't say.
Can't say. Not
too
limited
much.
to say,
I can't wait to take your team apart though, because I know how busy you've been today, and you would have put zero thought into it. You just want to go superstars, is what you would have done.
No.
You would have picked like your Lions team.
There's
You would have gone on reputation.
My selections.
Okay. Grobler, who's had a very good season as well. Mate, imagine having Grobler and Akker van der Merwe. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, I should have put one of them.
Yeah.
Awesome.
How good was the Bulls scrum?
Yeah.
Like against Vincent Koch, Mbanambi, and Oxenche. And they destroyed them. Like
Steenkamp's really good.
Yeah. You do get the feeling the Sharks are like, we won the European Challenge. That's it, lads. The season's done. We're going to be good next year. And I think they will be.
Yeah, but they were pretty good in the opening half an hour. Like they were very, very good. They were really at it. Like the energy levels were through the roof. But I think one too many beers probably caught after the weekend before maybe caught up with them. Like, didn't it? Like,
they would have. Yeah, they would have had a good night in London. They'd been in the walkabout, the church. They were done. They were done. That's where all the South Africans and Australians are. We'll move on to Glasgow. Zebre 38-26. John.
They made hard work of it. They toiled. All the stuff up here, all the press is just saying Glasgow peaked at the wrong time. You look at the Lions result a couple weeks ago, which I don't think saw coming, and they just kind of labouring a little bit at the moment. Their attack's not going. Although I would say I think they knew they were going to be Zebre. You know, they knew they're going to win it. It's a bit lethargic, but yeah, I don't know. I just think looking ahead, they're just not quite setting the world on fire yet. I don't know. I just think I got a feeling that going into quarterfinal against Stormers, I think they may struggle with the power and pace that the Stormers have in the back three, because at the moment they're just not quite there, and they're pretty much at full strength. So
defensively a little bit shaky. Trula snuck through a couple of times.
Yeah. I don't know. The defense has been good all year. They got one of the best defense in the league, but I mean, it's all irrelevant, really, isn't it? Now that they weren't going to get that home semi, which is what they wanted. They were going from sort of home final, home semi, potentially thinking, are we even going to get home quarter? But Munster did it the hard way last year. I just think they've dropped off a little bit. So I'll be surprised, but I'll be pleasantly surprised if they can turn things around.
Well, it's going to be an amazing game. Glasgow Stormers this weekend. Can't wait for that. Probably watch out in Portugal. Scarlets 32, Dragons 15. Dragons were pretty poor. You could see disappointment in Di Flanagan's face after the game, but Scarlets looked pretty good. Tommy Lewis looked good. They were really physical, which is something that I think they've lacked really all season. Like Plumtree was really good. Costello defensively put it about. I know he was a small bloke, but he was brave at the weekend. He went off with an HIA, came back on, still made some big hits. Eddie James looked good, as did Johnny Williams, both sort of super physical carrying the ball. Eddie James could be a really good one for the future. So a good end for Dwayne Peel to the end of the season. Probably want to forget about the rest of the season, because Scarlets, Dragons and Zebre, I think Scarlets are over 300 points difference, negative. Scarlets are late 290 maybe, or 280, and Zebre are pretty high as well. So issues there defensively. But there we go. Yo.
Question on the Dragons.
Yeah.
Is Di Flanagan, it just feels like he's just too nice a guy for like the head man.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I think that's just his personality anyway. He's always been a super nice guy. And I think that's probably one of the reasons why Fila Tiatia has come in now as defensive coach, maybe to be that yin and yang, because I mean, he's a legend of a bloke. He's tough as nails. You know, you set the standards really high. And I think that out of any other signings, they've signed Harry Wilson, they've signed Shane Lewis-Hughes, Chris Hollis is obviously there already, but I think that and the new chief exec Reece Blumberg has probably been the signings of the season so far. So, I mean, look, they won 3 games. They've got to improve next year. Winning 4 would be an improvement. So, hope they can do it. Right, so rugby done. Big tick in the box for that. Well done, boys. John, don't worry, we'll get you off soon. We've got the team of the regular season. Now, we've all done one of these today, last minute. Thanks very much, Ben Egan, for putting this on us. We've all got our own team. Let's see which team is going to come up first. So this is my team. Hammer it, go for it. Do what you want with it.
RG Snyman. Seriously, man.
Yeah.
He's in mine.
I think it's been good.
He's in yours as well.
He's
Why? What's he done?
He's played a lot. Scored tries. It's Jeremy Loughman, Johnny Matthews, Tom Botha. That's my front row. RG Snyman, Ruin. How do you pronounce it? Norke. I've got Max Deegan at 6. I've got Lowe at 7 and Gavin Coombs at 8. Papier at 9, Crowley 10, Curtly Aronson 11, Stafford McDowell and Antoine Frisch in the centres, Calvin Nash and Rhino Smith. I think Calvin Nash has been amazing all season, as has Antoine Frisch. Stafford McDowell, I think. Curtly Aronson as well. Not loads of 10s, I don't think, have put their hand up. There's been a little bit, probably. I think I've gone blank now. Number 10 Jack Crowley. He's my number 10. But LeBoc has been pretty good. Yeah. So that's my team. Anything stand out for you there?
Johnny Matthews.
The RG Snyman. Like RG Snyman made his first start for Munster at Thomond Park 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but he still played a lot more this season, mate. So
no. Oh,
how many games he played then?
I'm gonna say he's played
8 games.
Yeah,
good 8 though.
Yeah,
good 8.
How many? 5 off the bench.
Has he?
Here, listen. He's a quality operator. He's one of the best second rows in the world, but I just wouldn't have him in my team.
Okay, fine. Right, let's put your team up there. Grobler. Oh,
yeah.
James Ratty.
I just put Xander Ferguson in to piss off John Barkley.
No, I like Xander.
Rhino Smith, Calvin Nash, Brex, Aronson, LeBoc, Cooney.
Dave McCann's been awesome, like for Ulster, like unbelievable. Van Staden, ridiculous. Frankie Horn, scoring tries for fun. John Cooney, best kicking record in the competition. Manny LeBoc, pull rabbit out of a hat. Curtly Aronson, best winger in there. Nacho Brex, you could argue that. I think you had Antoine Frisch as well, didn't you? And Nash and Smith. So there's a bit of agreement there. I just went, I think in the pack it's really difficult to have guys that are going to play a lot of URC time consistently, and Ross Maloney and Ratty are 2 of the guys that are always a constant in both their respective sides. So that's why they get the nod in the second rows. But yeah, that's mine.
Can't argue too much with that. I tended to pick really mostly from top 4, I think. The winning teams. Yeah. So Barclays team, let's have a look at this. Dan Sheehan, Tad Furlong. How often do they play URC?
Well, this is why I struggled a little bit, lads, because I didn't want to pick people that hadn't played a huge amount.
Read it out, please, John. Let's read it out, please. Come on.
Okay, well, can I finish my sentence or just interrupt?
Yeah, go for it.
Some of the people I picked because I think they're just that good when they play, even though they haven't played a huge amount of game time. So Dan Sheehan and Furlong probably fall into. I had Grobbelaar as my other one. I think Nicky Smith has been superb. So mine's Nicky Smith, Dan Sheehan, Tyke Furlong, RG Snyman for the same play reasons as you, Shanks. I think I probably struggle with second rows. I just think when he's on, I think he's the best second row in the league by a bit of a distance. Tyke Byrne, I think, plays a lot for Munster and always plays well. I like Frank Horn at 8. I think Jack Dempsey's played consistently well all year.
I like him.
And Jamie Ritchie, I think, he's top of the turnovers for the URC, which is what I always look for in an open side. I think using a team like you said, or you said, Fez, their defense has been crap. And if you're still managing to make significant impact, you're doing quite a lot right. So at halfbacks, I had Casey and Crowley. Again, I would have put Gibson Park maybe in there, or Papier. I think Wes Huson in an attack that's been very average. Every time I've seen him, I think he's been superb. Sione Tuiplotu, Tommaso Menicello, Rhino Smith.
Is a 15?
Yeah, I know. I just wanted them in there. So I want to glimpse it.
Yeah. Tag Furlong started 2 games in the URC. Just saying.
That's enough.
That's enough.
Well, hold on. I just Simon started 3.
Quantity. He's starting more. He's making up. Quantity, not quality. Eh?
Yeah.
There we are. Rants of the week. I've got a rant.
I've got a rant.
I'm making a team of the week from Ben Egan, lastminute.com.
I know.
Like, you need to think about it. Like, Stevie doesn't have a job, so he's got all day. As soon as someone asks him to do something, that's it. Yeah, kids.
I think I was the last one to send my team in. Yeah, my rant is that I'm just so pissed off about how many holidays John Barkley goes on every year. It's really annoying me now.
Stevie, you were on holiday a few weeks ago. Relax. Shank's story this weekend. We're all allowed holidays. So it's nice to go away. Go on more holidays, lads. You deserve it. You all deserve it.
Okay.
You
don't? No.
Be on holiday. No. Have a lovely time.
Now, obviously, the regular season has ended. We did predictions at the start of the season as to who would finish in the top 8. This is right at the start. So if we can have a look, who I've got: Leinster, Glasgow, Munster, Bulls, Ulster Stormers, Sharks, Connacht. So
4, 5, 6.
Sharks weren't great. Connacht
6 out of 8. Not bad.
Yeah. Dark Horses, Scarlets, Underachievers, Benetton, winners, Glasgow. It's a lovely picture. Great tan on me. Let's just focus on that.
Same cardigan.
Who have we got? Next? Who's next? Steve. Munster.
Look at that good. Cheesy smile.
This is good. Look at the hair. You got Sharks and Connacht in there as well.
5 out.
With Scarlets at 6. Move on.
Dark Horse as well.
Yeah, geez,
the Scarlets. What did I say? They're minus 262 points difference. So. John, your turn. Leinster, Storm, and Sharks. I think we all thought Sharks would do a lot better than we did. Munster, Glasgow, Edinburgh, Bulls.
6 as well, boys.
Yeah. Dark Horses, Benetton. You got that. Stormers, winners. Yeah. Underachievers, Ulster. Maybe.
I mean, a couple of weeks ago, I think that would have been fair, but I think they look like they turned corner.
Yeah, I agree. So none of us were really too far off, but it is quite obvious that we know who sort of the top 5, top 6 teams are going to be in this league because they're just littered with stars and power. Final thoughts now. Look through to the weekend's games. It starts on Friday, Munster versus the Ospreys. The Ospreys have got a chance. There's no doubt about that. I think they've beaten Munster 4 times before away from home. But they have played them quite a lot of times. So there will be players there that have done it. I think there is question marks for me, Stevie, still over just a bit of ill discipline from Munster. There's your R.G. Steinmans, your Peter O'Mahony's. I basically think if Munster can keep 50 men on the field, they'll probably win. But if they don't, if the emotion gets quite high, because it's going to be amazing atmosphere in Thomond Park, I think if they get it wrong, then the Ospreys are in with a chance. But it's going to be tough for them.
Yeah, I think Munster are going to have too much in the tank. I just think they're too organised for Ospreys, sadly.
And their attack has really improved as well, massively over the last couple of years. Bulls versus Benetton, I think we all know who we think is going to win that. Bulls.
I think it might be close. I think Bulls will pull away, though.
Yeah. Do you know what? It's really tough, though, like the travel that Benetton have got now to go over there. It makes a massive difference in the knockout stages if South African teams have got. I know it works both ways, but
how many hours is the travel? Do you reckon from Treviso to 10 hours?
Yeah, still be good. Yeah, I mean, I was in Italy last week. It was only 2 hours away, Stevie. So
holiday, well done.
Working holiday.
Leinster, Ulster.
Leinster.
I think if McCluskey isn't fit, if both second rows are doubtful, Ian Henderson's still out, like everything is stacked against them. There's chat that the Aviva is only going to be half opened. The lower tier is only going to be opened. So I'm not so sure. I don't know. Like, I know it's a quarter final, but it doesn't feel like it's a quarter final for some reason. I can't call this until I've seen what teams are going to be picked. If Leo Collins sticks to his URC team, I'm going to go for an Ulster win. If he flips it over and starts playing tag Furlong, Porter, Sheehan, James Ryan, Keelan
They've got to,
Doris,
Stevie.
Josh
They've
van
got
der Fleer.
to. They're out of Europe. I think they've got to. I think
They've
they've
not
got
won
to. I think
anything
they've got to
for
play the
10
best
years
team.
now. They've got to win. They've got to win.
I don't know.
I think they've got to play their best team. I think so. Because they need some silverware. Because everyone talks about Leinster being the best team with the school system, with the players they've got. So I think they've got to go full hog. And it's unfair on a lot of the players that have played regularly in the URC.
Well, there's one guy that played really well and was brought off after 50 minutes, I think, against Connacht, was Jack Conan. Like, he was brilliant, really good. And I've said this over the last couple of months. Keelan Doris has seemed to have lost a bit of form since he's took over the captain's armband. It's almost like it's something else. Like, even in the Champions Cup final, he was okay, but he's used to having standout performances, man-on-mass performances every single week and being talked about before getting into every game. Nobody's really talking about him at the minute. And maybe it's the added pressure and the decision-making of Clyde and the way he goes about his business on the pitch of just that added pressure. So maybe James Ryan starts and he takes over the captaincy and Keelan Doris goes out and does his own thing. But Jack Conan was brilliant. And anytime he comes off the bench over the last couple of months, he's been really good. So there might be a bit of a mix-up there.
Concur with that. Glasgow Stormers. I'm going Stormers, John.
I'm going to go Glasgow. But I think it's going to be close. It'll be very close.
I'm gonna go Glasgow. It's going to be a belter atmosphere. Like, it's going to be class.
I think out of all the games, that's good. That's the one I'm looking forward to the most. I think because you've got two teams that just want to throw the ball around, want to attack from everywhere.
Shanks, were you going to watch it on the golf course?
Yeah. No, I've got a few things to watch when I'm over there. I've got on the Thursday, I've got Gibraltar versus Wales football and a friendly. I've got Friday, I've got the Ospreys at Munster, which I'm watching, then all the games on Saturday. So I'll be watching them on my Nokia 3210. Right, that is it. That's it, lads. John, you go find the best pint of Guinness in London. Stevie, enjoy your burgers, and we shall see you next week. Don't forget, every game is live on Premier Sports. See you soon.
See you later.